pass or fail. Yeah, pass or fail. We do a quick rundown on the gear I used last night and the gear that I use most of the time. You know, last night it got down to about 26 degrees. Tried out a new sleeping bag and a couple of other new things. We'll start off with my tried and true stove. Old-fashioned Coleman stove. I don't know how old it is, but it's never failed me. Hungarian mess kit. I'm really liking it. Old school 2-quart canteens. Standard issue as far as I'm concerned. My French Army gas mask bag. That is my food bag. I put my stove in there. I put the Hungarian mess kit in there. And then I put food in there. And it works out pretty good. Plus, it's got a strap on it. I can hang it out of a tree, whatever I need to do. Yeah, green tea, good stuff. All right, I had gotten this a while back. This is just an El Cheapo Family Dollar lantern. I'm liking it. I put a carabiner on it and a string. I can hang it from my tent poles. I can hang it from my tarp. I can hang it from a tree. For like $6.25, I think it's money well spent. My pony blanket. Now in a normal world, I would call this a $4.99 truck stop Mexican blanket, but I know in today's bizarro world, that's racist. So it's now my pony blanket. And it's now a 2-trick pony blanket because before I was using it just to lay on top of my air mattress for a little bit of a pad and a little bit of insulation. And then I came up with the bright idea of cutting a slit in the middle of it and then stitching it up and using it as a poncho. All right, you gotta ask yourself, did I fire 5 shots? Or did I fire 6 shots? Feeling lucky? Well, are you punk? You feeling lucky today? Whoops, wrong movie. So, with that being said, it's now a 2-trick pony. My axe. Didn't use it, but it still passes. This is like a $2.50 military issue hatchet cover, and I put some studs in there to help it, and then I cut it out so I can use it as a hammer. But this was a carpenter's, or not a carpenter's, it was a roofer's hatchet, and obviously I cut it down Viking style, and I cut the hammer head off and give it kind of a Viking medieval look, and tried to carve a little design into the handle, burned it and oiled it. But it is a good axe. I've used it before, but I didn't use it today because this failed. Found this out in the shed. I guess it's red and blue, so I would assume it's a Craftsman. Old trim saw. I remember using these as a scout and as a kid, but you know, I'm not car camping. This really didn't cut any better than my little $4.50 or whatever it was Troy built little pruning saw. Because normally what I'll do with that is, if it's a little bit bigger, I'll cut it about in half and give it a whack, and then it breaks. So considering its size, to me, it's not worth it. Now, if you're car camping, boat camping, or whatever, you know, you might give it a thought, because, I mean, this thing's got a very aggressive blade, but I won't be bringing it back out with me. I always bring this with me, unless I'm hiking. This is a World War II vintage Italian Army e-tool. It's actually an exact copy of an American e-tool. The only difference, I'm assuming, would be the wood. I'm sure this ain't no American wood. Whatever is hard and most available for Italians back in World War II, that's what this handle would be. And you know this steel here did not come from Pittsburgh. But for $17.99, I'm extremely happy with it. You know, of course, it's an e-tool. You can do it like that or extend it out. And it also makes a very viable last-ditch, last-chance weapon. I have a story about that. I may just tell that one day. Kind of gross, though. And I keep it in an actual U.S. military World War II e-tool pouch. I paid like $1 for it. Yeah, $1. It was ripped right there. I had to stitch that up, and the male end of the snap was mushroomed out, so I had to trim that down with a file. I filed that off a little bit, and it works just fine now. And you can actually still read the guy's name. It looks like it says J something or other. I can't make it out. I don't know if it's a O or a Q. Hansen, 1944. I'd like to know that man's story. To think that this was issued to an American soldier in World War II, and I end up with it. I think I got this in like 2018, somewhere around then. I end up with it at a military surplus store for $1. All I had to do was fix it. And my sleeping bag, my new sleeping bag, most definitely a positive, absolutely passed. My rain fly. Normally this is my rain fly. I'll put it over the top of the tent. As you can see, I got a couple layers of T-Rex tape here. That's where the front poles cross over. I figure about 4 layers or so is plenty. When that wears out, I can go buy me a new tarp. Anyways, I use this as a wind block. Very happy, passed completely. Normally I'll use it for a sunshade when I'm not using it for a rain fly, and I have a bigger tarp that I normally bring out, but of course I knew it wasn't going to rain, so this is what we did. But with that north wind last night, it was cold, and dropping this down and having the fire reflect off of it, it was toasty warm out here till I decided to go to bed. This is a Chinese Army medics bag. Yeah. If this is the kind of shit they're issuing their troops, I think the shit I read about them, that might just actually be true. But it does make for a nice little camera bag. I've got some batteries in here. I have got an extra lens filter. As a matter of fact, right now I'm filming with ND number 8, neutral density number 8 lens cap on there, because it's nice and bright and sunny out. And I got my cleaning tools in there and some lens paper and cloth, and you know, your basic camera stuff. There's a little accordion type tripod, and there's also a selfie stick, even though I don't like using those things. Well, I give up. I don't know how that guy did it. I give up. Trash bag air pump. Total failure. Just goes to show you, just because you've seen it on YouTube doesn't mean it's necessarily true. The theory's correct. I might need a better trash bag, a stronger one maybe, but you know, as I demonstrated last night, I wrapped it around the air nozzle and I tried to blow it up with that, and it almost worked, but it wouldn't, it broke the seal, so it wouldn't work right. It wasn't strong enough, so that was a failure. Good try though. My little Altec speaker. Yep, I'll bring that thing out here so I can watch TV and whatnot. And along with the speaker, this is my charging box. And what I have in here is 3 different charging cords that are behind the flap. I have one, I'm not going to pull them out. I got one for my phone, I got one for the camera, and I got another one that'll charge up the speaker. And the box is, I've had it so long I don't remember. Let's see if it'll say it. 12,000 milliamps, I guess, is its maximum capacity, and like 2 amps coming out the deal or whatever. I don't know. It's made by Jackery. It works. And I have a charging station in the saddlebag of my motorcycle, so if this ran out of gas, I could simply plug it into the motorcycle and I could charge this back up. But for a couple days in the woods, along with the speaker, this works out really good. So who else wants to confess that when they're out in the woods, they'll turn their phone on and maybe watch a movie, watch old shows, whatever. But I do it through YouTube, of course. But I really enjoy watching old shows, anything from the 50s or 60s, because it's usually basically pretty clean. There'll be some innuendos, and there'll be some adult stuff in there that kids zoom will go right over their head. At least it did back then, right? But the stories are usually clean, and there's usually a good guy and a bad guy. And anyways, before I digress, the speaker comes in real handy. And plus, if I want to listen to music, I can crank it up if there ain't nobody around me. So on the charging battery and speaker, pass. Now I know some of you will cringe at the sight of a pair of work gloves. But if you're going to go play in the woods, you really need a pair. These are not very expensive, and when they get too ripped up and trashed, go buy another pair. But thorns and bugs and all kinds of weird shit when you're looking for wood and whatnot, it's a good idea to have a pair of gloves on. And if you can't stand the thought of wearing work gloves, well, buy you some leather gloves or something, I don't know. I'm sure somebody on YouTube has a nice pair of backpacking or camping gloves that they'll gladly sell you through their Amazon influence page, right? Dollar General. Italian backpack. You know, I'm loving that thing. It's like a suitcase to me. And of course, my kneeling pad, my butt pad, and last night I had a giant pile of wood there. I literally turned my tarp a little ways sideways down the diagonal. I had this kind of up against the wood pile, and I sat there and I watched TV for a while. It was awesome. So, and this was a shop mat. You know, the ones that you put together like a jigsaw puzzle. Awesome. Definitely a pass. And I put it in the pack, and it works as a back pad.